The right fit, why it matters. Hiring the right employee is crucial. A bad hire can be costly. It impacts productivity and team morale. It also affects your bottom line. The right employee brings value. They fit your culture. They possess the necessary skills. They contribute to your success. Think of your business as a rowing team. Every member needs to pull their weight. A mismatched rower disrupts the rhythm. The boat slows down, the team loses momentum. The right hire is like a powerful stroke. It propels your business forward, it strengthens your team, it leads to greater achievements. Invest time in finding the right fit. It is an investment in your business's future. Need assessment, identifying the hiring need. Before you start hiring, define the need. What gaps exist in your team? Are you expanding? Is someone leaving? Are there new projects on the horizon? Analyze your current workforce, identify skill shortages, consider future business goals, determine if a new hire is the solution. Sometimes retraining existing staff is more efficient. Consider the impact of a new hire. Will it increase efficiency? Will it boost sales? Will it improve customer service? A clear understanding of the need helps you target the right candidate. It ensures you're investing in a role that benefits your business. Defining the role, crafting an effective job description. A well-written job description is crucial. It attracts the right candidates. It deters unqualified applicants. Start with a clear job title. Use industry-standard terms. Outline the job responsibilities. Be specific. Use action verbs. Describe daily tasks. Mention reporting lines. Detail expected outcomes. Include required skills and qualifications. Mention education level. List years of experience, highlight essential technical skills, specify soft skills like communication and teamwork, offer insights into your company culture, describe the work environment, mention benefits and perks. A compelling job description attracts top talent. Finding your talent pool, recruitment, planning and sourcing. Once you have a job description, plan your recruitment, decide on your budget. Determine your timeline, choose the right recruitment channels, explore online job boards, utilize social media platforms, consider industry-specific websites, leverage your network for referrals, tailor your approach to your target audience, attract passive candidates, engage with potential applicants, build relationships for future hiring needs. Effective sourcing broadens your reach. It helps you connect with qualified candidates. It increases your chances of finding the perfect fit. Section 5. Narrowing the field, screening and interviewing candidates. After receiving applications, begin screening. Review resumes and cover letters. Look for relevant experience and skills. Check for red flags like gaps in employment. Shortlist candidates for interviews. Prepare your questions in advance. Use a structured format for consistency. Ask open-ended questions to assess skills and personality. Use behavioral questions to understand past experiences. Inquire about their problem-solving skills, assess their communication style, evaluate their cultural fit. Take notes during the interview. This helps you remember key points. It allows you to compare candidates objectively. Thorough screening ensures you invite the best candidates for further evaluation. Section 6. Beyond the resume, testing and assessment options. Consider using tests to evaluate specific skills. This provides objective data. It complements the interview process. Choose tests relevant to the job requirements. Assess technical skills through practical tasks. Evaluate problem-solving abilities with case studies. Use personality tests to gauge cultural fit. Communicate the purpose of testing to candidates. Be transparent about the process. Use reputable assessment tools. Ensure fairness and avoid bias in your selection process. Testing provides valuable insights beyond resumes and interviews. It helps you make informed hiring decisions based on data. Section 7. Due diligence, reference checks and background verification. Before making an offer, conduct thorough checks. Contact provided references, verify employment history and education. Perform background checks if necessary. Prepare specific questions for references. Inquire about strengths and weaknesses. Ask about work ethic and reliability. Gather insights into their previous performance. Background checks mitigate risks. They ensure the candidate is truthful. They protect your company from potential issues. Be aware of legal requirements regarding background checks. Obtain consent from the candidate. Use a reputable agency to ensure compliance. Section 8, sealing the deal, making the offer and negotiating terms. Once you've chosen the ideal candidate, prepare the offer. Outline the position details. Clearly state the salary and benefits. Include the start date and reporting structure. Be prepared to negotiate terms. The candidate may counteroffer. Be willing to compromise on certain aspects. Maintain open communication throughout the process. Once the offer is accepted, get it in writing. This protects both parties. It ensures clarity and avoids misunderstandings. A well-structured offer letter sets the tone for a positive employer-employee relationship. Section 9. Setting up for success. Onboarding and training your new hire. Onboarding is crucial for new employee success. It integrates them into your company culture. It provides them with the tools and knowledge to excel. Create a structured onboarding program. Assign a mentor to guide them. Provide clear role expectations. Offer regular feedback and support. Invest in training programs. Develop their skills. Enhance their knowledge base. Empower them to contribute effectively. A comprehensive onboarding and training program sets your new hire up for success. It fosters engagement and loyalty from the start. Section 10. Continuous improvement. Evaluating and refining your hiring process. Regularly review your hiring process for effectiveness. Analyze time to hire metrics. Assess candidate satisfaction. Identify bottlenecks and areas for improvement. Solicit feedback from hiring managers. Gather insights from new hires. Use data to refine your approach. Continuously strive for a more efficient and effective process. A well-defined hiring process attracts top talent. It saves time and resources. It ensures you find the right people to drive your business forward. Make it a priority to continuously improve your approach for optimal results. The prerequisites for an employment contract are essential elements that must be in place before drafting and signing the agreement. These prerequisites ensure that the contract is legally binding and clearly outlines the expectations, rights, and obligations of both the employer and the employee. Here are the key prerequisites: clear job offer and acceptance offer of employment. The employer must extend a clear and formal job offer to the employee. This offer should include key details such as job title, salary, working hours, and benefits. Acceptance. The employee must accept the offer either verbally or in writing. Both parties must agree to the terms for the contract to be valid. 2. Legality of employment, legal right to work. The employer must verify that the employee is legally eligible to work in the country or region. This could involve verifying visas, work permits, or other legal documentation. Compliance with employment laws. The contract must comply with local labor laws and regulations such as minimum wage, working hours, health and safety standards, and employment rights. Age requirements. The employee must meet the legal age requirements for employment in the jurisdiction. Defined role and responsibilities. The employer must clearly define the role and responsibilities of the employee. This includes the job title, department, and the specific tasks the employee will perform. A well-drafted job description should be agreed upon by both parties. Mutual agreement on terms, work hours. Both parties must agree on the number of hours the employee will work, including regular hours and potential overtime. Salary and compensation. The salary, payment schedule, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and any other forms of compensation, for example, bonuses, commissions, must be clearly outlined. Benefits. Both parties should agree on benefits such as health insurance, retirement plans, vacation days, and any other perks provided by the employer. Specific duration of employment, if applicable. For fixed-term or temporary contracts, the start date and end date, or completion of the project, must be clearly defined. For permanent employment, the contract should state that the employment is ongoing without a set end date, but subject to termination under certain conditions. 1. Probation period, if applicable. If a probationary period is included, its length and the conditions under which the employee's performance will be evaluated must be specified. The contract should also outline the rights of the employee and employer to terminate the contract during or after the probation period, notice period, and termination conditions. Both the employer and the employee should agree on the required notice period for termination of the contract. Grounds for termination. Conditions under which either party can terminate the contract, for example, misconduct, performance issues, redundancy, should be clearly defined. Severance pay if applicable. The conditions under which severance pay will be provided should be outlined. 8. Confidentiality and non-disclosure. For certain positions, confidentiality agreements may be a prerequisite. These agreements prevent the employee from disclosing sensitive company information. Non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, may be included to protect proprietary information, business secrets, or client data. Non-compete and non-solicitation clauses, if applicable. For certain roles, the employer may require non-compete agreements to prevent the employee from working for a competitor for a specific period after leaving the company. Non-solicitation clauses may prevent the employee from recruiting clients or colleagues to join another company after they leave. Governing law and jurisdiction. The contract must specify which country or state's laws govern the agreement. The governing law ensures that any disputes arising from the contract will be resolved in accordance with specific legal regulations. Background and reference checks. Employers may require background checks, criminal, financial, etc., or reference checks from previous employers as a prerequisite to finalizing the contract. The employee must give consent for any checks, and these checks must be conducted in compliance with local laws. Health and safety requirements. Depending on the nature of the job, the employee may need to meet specific health or safety requirements, such as medical exams or certifications. The employer should ensure the workplace meets all occupational health and safety standards as required by law, tax, and legal documentation. The employee must complete necessary tax and legal documentation, such as tax forms, for example, W-4 in the US or PAN in Nepal, social security forms, and any other government-required paperwork. The employer is responsible for ensuring that all tax withholdings and contributions are managed in compliance with tax laws, agreement to company policies. The employee may need to agree to abide by company policies, including codes of conduct, workplace behavior, and disciplinary procedures. These policies should be clearly communicated to the employee during the onboarding process signature of both parties. To make the contract legally binding, it must be signed and dated by both the employer and the employee. Both parties should retain a signed copy of the contract for their records. Ensuring that these prerequisites are met will result in a clear, comprehensive, and legally sound employment contract that protects both the employer and the employee. In Nepal, employment contracts are governed primarily by the Labour Act 2017 and the Labour Rules 2018, which set out the rights, duties, and obligations of both employers and employees. Here's an overview of employment contracts in Nepal based on the legal framework and standard practice legal requirements for employment contracts in Nepal. Written contract. The Labour Act mandates that all employers must provide a written employment contract to their employees at the time of hiring. This document outlines the terms and conditions of employment. Language. The employment contract should be written in a language that both parties understand, typically Nepali or English. Mandatory registration. Employers are required to register their employees with the relevant government authorities, including Social Security and Labour offices, to ensure compliance with legal obligatio key elements of an employment contract in Nepal. According to the Labour Act, an employment contract in Nepal must include the following essential elements. A. Parties to the contract. The full name, address, and legal status of both the employer and the employee. Job title and job description. A clear definition of the job role, tasks, and responsibilities expected from the employee. It should specify whether the position is full-time, part-time, or temporary CE workplace location. The contract should mention the primary place of employment or any potential locations where the employee may be required to work. D. Working hours. The standard working hours in Nepal are 8 hours per day and 48 hours per week. The contract must specify the working hours, rest periods, and overtime policies. Overtime compensation, if applicable, should also be included. Nepal mandates overtime pay at 1.5 times the regular hourly rate. E. Duration of employment, permanent employment. For indefinite or long-term employment. Fixed-term contract for specific periods or project-based work. Fixed-term contracts must clearly mention the duration and conditions for renewal or termination. Probation period. The Labour Act allows for a probation period of up to 6 months, during which either party can terminate the contract with a shorter notice period. SF, remuneration and benefits salary. The contract must state the agreed salary or wage, including the payment schedule, monthly, bi-weekly, etc. Benefits. Details about benefits such as health insurance, retirement contributions, like the Social Security Fund, allowances and bonuses. Social Security employers must contribute to the Social Security Fund, SSF, which covers benefits like maternity leave, accident coverage, and pensions, g. leave and holidays. The contract should mention annual leave, sick leave, maternity, paternity leave, and public holidays. In Nepal, employees are entitled to get weekly holiday, sick leave, casual leave, home leave, maternity leave. Women are entitled to get maternity leave as per Nepali law. H. Termination and notice period termination grounds. The contract should specify the conditions under which either party may terminate the agreement, including misconduct, poor performance, or redundancy. Notice period. According to the Labour Act, a minimum of 30 days' notice is required for terminating an employee, while probationary employees may be given shorter notice, up to 7 days. Severance pay. Employees dismissed after working continuously for a year or more are entitled to severance pay, typically calculated based on the length of service, disciplinary actions and grievance procedures. The contract should include details on disciplinary actions in cases of misconduct, violation of company policies, or breach of contract. A process for raising grievances, such as reporting disputes to the Labour Office, should also be mentioned. J. Confidentiality and non-disclosure clauses. Many contracts include clauses to protect the employer's business information, trade secrets, and intellectual property. Employees may be asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, as part of their contract. K. Non-compete clauses, if applicable. In some cases, employment contracts include non-compete clauses that restrict employees from working for competitors for a certain period after leaving the job. However, non-compete clauses must be reasonable and compliant with Nepalese law or health and safety. The contract should mention the company's compliance with occupational health and safety standards. Employers are required to provide a safe working environment and necessary safety gear in industries where applicable governing law. The contract should state that it is governed by the laws of Nepal, specifically the Labour Act 2017 and any future amendment. Types of employment contracts in Nepal. Employment contracts in Nepal can be categorized into different types based on the nature of the employment. Permanent employment contract for long-term or ongoing roles with no fixed end date. Fixed-term contract for temporary roles or specific projects with a clear start and end date. Casual or daily wage contract for workers hired on a short-term basis or for specific tasks with no long-term commitment. Part-time contract for employees working fewer hours than the standard full-time work week. Apprenticeship training contracts for employees hired for training purposes, often with the possibility of transitioning to full-time role. Legal enforcement and dispute resolution. If disputes arise from an employment contract, employees and employers may seek resolution through the Labour Office or Labour Court in Nepal. The Labour Act provides for dispute resolution mechanisms, including mediation, arbitration, or legal action in cases of contract breach or wrongful termination. Importance of employment contracts in Nepal. Legal protection. Employment contracts protect both employers and employees by clearly defining the terms of employment, reducing the risk of disputes. Compliance. Employers must ensure that their contracts comply with Nepali labour laws to avoid legal penalties. Clarity. A well-drafted employment contract clarifies the rights, responsibilities, and expectations of both parties, fostering a transparent and mutually beneficial working relationship. In conclusion, employment contracts in Nepal are legally required and serve as a critical tool to formalize the employment relationship. They must comply with the Labour Act 2017 and provide clear terms regarding work conditions, remuneration, benefits, and termination procedures. Both employers and employees benefit from the clarity and legal security that a formal employment contract offers.